Hi guys, welcome back to TravellingMowerMechanic here. Today I want to talk to you about getting old equipment, push mowers, things like that, even ride-ons if you're game enough, how you can make some extra cash for yourselves. I've been doing this for a number of years, so today I'm just going to share a few tips on how you can do this without spending a lot of money on them, and flip them for some good coin. So first we picked up a little mower the other day, a little Victor. Give you a bit of a look at it. As you can see, it's still pretty fresh, still grubby. Haven't done anything to it yet. We just put it in, put it on the bench here. This one picked it up alongside the road. It has got an aluminium base, which is a bonus. I always check the steel base. If you get one mower with a steel base, always have a good look, make sure it's got no holes or rusted out anywhere. Even with these yellow bases, just make sure that they're not cracked or split or anything. This one's all intact, it's not split, no breaks or anything in it. So we're just going to go through a few things that you need to look at and do. Just you need to have a look over it once you get it. Have a look over it to see what it needs fixing. Don't just go in tear it all apart. Just check it all out first and see what you need to actually do. Sometimes you can go too far with them. I notice this rear wheel here, it's leaning in. So there's something not right there. Either the axle's bent or something, wheel's broken. So we've got to have a look at that. Notice the front axle's got a bit of play in it. A bit of play in here. Which usually has to do with the bushings up in here. Always make sure you got the bushings and these clips in. A lot of times you'll find them, the bushings are either worn out or the clips are missing. And as you can see under this one, the blades are pretty good. We'll sharpen those up and get away with that. Just give it all a good clean up underneath here. It's not too bad underneath. Now, the big question is, will it go? Will it start? So we need to check a couple of things there. First thing you'll need to do is check to see if it's got spark. Has it got any spark? Will it produce enough spark to be able to run? So we'll check that now and just have a look and see. So what we're going to do, guys, you always need yourself an inline spark tester. Whether you're just starting out or you've been doing it for a while, make sure you get one of these. So we'll just take this in and we'll put it on here. So make sure it clips onto the plug. And we'll just turn that light off on here. We'll pull the rope a couple of times and see if it lights up. So guys, it's showing us that we've got spark there. We have got spark in here. So that's one thing we've got. So we know we've got spark. So the old spark plug here is pretty rusted and so forth. So we'll have a look at that. Pretty rusted. Pretty old plug, that one. It's probably the original. Take it out and we'll have a look. So there we go. It's not too bad, it's not a little bit oiled up, but it's not wet oil. It's not overly done. I'm just going to put a clean one in now, just so we can see if we can get it to run. So we'll put that in there. I'll just hand tighten it for now. Put that on there. We'll try it again in a minute. Another thing we've noticed here, this is our air filter sitting right here. You can see it's back on back to front. So we'll just take that off. Have a look. No, it's not too bad. Normally they're all caked up with grease and oil and everything. So that one's not too bad. Now I just noticed something else. Our tank's all moving. Missing a bolt from in here. It holds the tank up tight. So that's just been bouncing around like so. Wouldn't be a bit surprised as the intake manifold that runs across here from the carburetor back across the back is either cracked or broken off. Wouldn't be a bit surprised there with that. You can see here they've put a bodgy bolt in the tank. Government springs and everything are all like that. Now the other thing is I did notice when I was pulling that over to get the spark, doing the spark test, I could feel that it had really good compression. So on one of these motors for it to run, you really need to have around about that 80 to 100 psi just for it to run. To be really good, it needs to be around 100 to 120, somewhere in there with that. And what we use is a compression tester. This end here on the compression tester screws into your spark plug hole there, and you pull the motor over a few times, 5 or 6 times, and it'll give you a reading. It'll give you a reading on your gauge here on that. So there's 3 main things we need for this engine to start: good compression, spark, and fuel, of course. So I don't know what's in here. There's a little bit of fuel in there, but don't know what condition it's in. So what I'm going to do is get some carb spray, and we're going to spray a bit of carbon cleaner down in there. Just a bit of carb clean. Bit of carb cleaner. We'll just spray some down in there. We'll try and fire it up, see how it will fire, and then we'll know what it's going to do. So let's just see if it'll fire up. So there we go, guys. So we know that we've got everything's lining up there. We've got the compression, we've got spark, fuel, fired up. So now the next question is, you can either just clean it up and flog it off the way it is, or you can go to the extra bit. Take your wheels all off your base and everything, clean all them up. There's one here, by the feels of that one there, it's broken out. And the more you tend to look on these things, the more you find. This wheel here's got a hole in it there, so we need to replace that. What I generally do is, I take the motors off, I'll clean the coil and reset the coil, the proper air gap on that. I'd like you to just use the business card there and do that. You can see that on some of my other videos where I've reset them. Carburetor, take the carby off here, give that a good clean out. In these carburetors, just down in here, you have a diaphragm in around there. Make sure you replace that. On those, just do the basics. Put your spark plug in, change your air filter, put the oil in, and something we didn't check on this one. Let's see how much oil it's got. It's got a little bit, not a lot. So that's something there. just all those little things like that. You can, when you take the motor off altogether. Now you've got to take the base plate off, or the blade off. It's 3 or 4 bolts underneath and the motor will lift off. So you can do that. You've got to take your tank off to clean it, so you might as well clean all that up. I like to actually repaint them, the engines, just to tidy them all up. Makes it a lot easier to sell, and you get more coin for your buck on that one. And putting it this way, if you pick them up for free, you can afford to put a bit of time and a little bit of money into it. Not a lot. You know, you only need a couple of paint cans, you know, a bit of primer and just some colour. Just give them a good clean up like that. Just fix anything that needs doing. Anything around it that you can see that's not right, make sure that's right. And that way, when you sell it, you know the customer's going to be happy with it and they're not going to return it. Now, I have had a couple come back over the time, just silly things. You know, wheel clips coming off that obviously weren't pushed back in properly. Just things like that. People take them away. I always, before I sell them, make sure you put a full tank of fuel in. Give them a full tank of fuel. So when they're mowing it, it's not going to start out or anything like that. I've had people running out of fuel, go and get their dirty old can with water and stuff in it, tip it in it, and say that the mower's no good. No, they don't get away with that because you filled it up with clean fuel. You know it was clean when they took it. A lot of guys won't even take them back. So it is sold as a second-hand unit, so therefore you don't have to take them back. Your base, yeah, just give that all a good clean up. Being an alloy base, this one will still get painted up, cleaned up. Make sure your handles, your throttle cable's all working. Just things like that. It's not hard. It's not. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to be able to do one up. Now, this is a good little project for a lot of teenagers that want to earn that bit of coin. Pick up a few old mowers, do them up, and flog them off. And that way, yeah, not only that, but you learn as you go. Learn as you go on these things. But those, what I've just gone through, they're the main things that you got to look at on all that. Pretty easy. Once you take the motor off, clean it all up, put it back on, full tank of fuel, fresh oil, new filter, power plug, and you're good to go. Okay guys, I hope that gives you a bit of insight on how to make some extra coin for yourselves.